How's it going, everyone? Stellar here, and today I will be showing you how to make a sci-fi slash futuristic grenade. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that I now have a Discord server up, so if you'd like to be a part of my little community that I've got going, then definitely go ahead and give that a join. So today we're gonna just jump straight in and get to making a grenade. So yeah, we're gonna do that. So when it comes to grenades, they can take many different shapes and forms. There's all kinds that exist out there as far as reference go. So you got your options. So today I've decided I kind of want to go with like a smoke grenade type look. And right now we're just kind of roughing in the shapes to get kind of an idea of what we want as far as like a grenade goes. So I'm just gonna get some shapes going here. Kind of have somewhat of an idea of what I want to do with this as far as making this goes, so we're just gonna keep going with this and figure out where to go from there. So I kind of like this weird looking shape. I do have like a good looking idea that I've kind of messed around with before to put in the center here, but we'll go ahead and get the parts and the features in place for now, so we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to play this magical game of how many times I can say go ahead and do, you know, whatever today, so that'll also be fun. Sometimes I kind of get lost for words as far as what I'm going to be saying in these videos, because I don't want it to be too quiet, but I also want to kind of keep your guys' interests piqued, if that makes any sense. Yeah, longtime followers of my channel will definitely know that I have made some grenades in the past. People who've known me for even longer than that will know that I've made quite a few grenades in the past and had a lot of fun doing so as well. So I always recommend, you know, grenades for practice, for studies, for like shape studies and everything like that, is I find it very useful. If you just keep making grenades over and over again, you get to learn how to deal with curved surfaces and also problem solving. So you got a whole slew of ideas and ways you can use this to your advantage. So I definitely recommend just getting in and having some fun making some grenades. If you guys don't like grenades for whatever reason, then make like a futuristic water bottle or like an energy cell or something like that. You know, the options are endless. You got many different ways of doing things. You can even use my grenade video here as like a way to make, like I said, like a futuristic water bottle or a energy cell or a battery or fuel cell. You know, it's endless. You have all the options in the world. I mean, this is 3D after all. You got plenty of ways to figure it out. So we're kind of getting our basic shape in here, starting to look a little bit like what I wanted it to. But I'm going to give this a mirror here. We're going to play with some of the newer features when it comes to box cutter and hard ops. So I'm just going to go in here and get a wedge box going. We'll just kind of wedge some stuff in just to give it some more features and all that good stuff. So you can't go wrong with wedging. Well, you can, but you can also have a whole lot of fun wedging random things in. So those two wedges there, we do have a little bit of cleanup we can do here, but that's not bad. All we got to do is kind of just get that guy out of the way just a little bit, nothing too crazy. And now that I'm on Ingon, we'll just kind of draw in some fun shapes here and just kind of detail it, you know, make some fun, give it something interesting to look at, you know, give people something interesting to look at because you don't want it to be too terribly boring. I've always had this feeling of, man, is what I'm doing interesting enough? Is what I'm doing gonna catch the eyes of people who might be looking for, this type of stuff, be it grenades or guns or vehicles or whatever. I always have that fear of I'm not doing enough, or I'm doing too much detailing, but like I've always said, as long as it looks good to you, it doesn't need to look good to anybody else. I'm kind of going off on like a random ramble here, but it'd be like that sometimes. So we kind of got some little details going here, nothing too absurd and off the wall. Go in here and just change this to make box. We're gonna add our little thing that the hammer hooks to here. Yeah, so we'll do that. We'll just draw a little make box, make it come up, and I'm gonna hold shift to keep it live. And we'll just bring it back down and in a little bit. But yeah, as far as the Discord server goes, I'm really excited to chat with you guys and see your work. I'm really excited to see what you guys have come up with and created following my videos and everything. Following other videos that I've sent to people, or even other suggestions. Really, I'm always excited to see some of you guys' work. I know some of the people that I've talked to, I've really enjoyed, talking with them and everything. So, definitely excited to chat and help you guys out, because I will also be there to help out as well. As far as like tutorials go, or if you have any questions that I can answer, because I'm not a professional, but I do like to try to help and teach people things. I do enjoy that type of stuff. Like I've said multiple times before, I love teaching people. It's one of my favorite things to do. Just sitting down and chit-chatting with somebody and discussing features and ways to go about fixing things, all that good stuff. It's always good times. So right now I'm just kind of going in, like I said, adding some details, just trying to make this look a little bit more appealing than what it was. We'll just make that a nice smooth edge here. So for here, I'm just going to add in a loop cut. We're just doing detailing, basic detailing, nothing too crazy. Just to kind of break up the mundane look of a cylinder. I've been enjoying doing this bevel feature a lot recently, where you add in a loop cut, bevel it to where you have 3 segments, and you take the center one and scale it in. It always makes for quick and easy multiple parts. You can also do it with a box cutter, do the slice as well, but it's always nice to be able to do something quick and easy like that. Next up, I'm going to add another cylinder here. We're just going to get this positioned kind of the way I want it. Do something like that. Next up, I'm just going to go to View and Ingon here, and we're just gonna draw in some shapes just to make it look neat, I guess. I've always loved the Ingon tool. It's always been a really helpful and really useful tool, really, or function rather. get some pretty unique shapes, and you have a lot of fun doing it, or at least I do. I don't know about you guys. Let me know. What do you guys think about the Ingon tool? Is it something you guys use a lot, or is it something you've never even really tried to mess with? Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I want to know what you guys think about the tool, because I know I use it pretty decent amount. Like, it's one of my most used features, as I find it incredibly helpful and really easy to come up with quick and dirty shapes that you can go and later refine and turn into some really nice looking shapes. So I'm just going to connect these two here, as that was just going to give me some issues, and we'll fix that little what's the word? I'm lost for words now. We'll fix that little artifact here in just a moment. As you guys know, I do quite enjoy fixing artifacts. It's satisfying, you know, like it's like solving a puzzle, in my opinion. Yeah, using some of the features that I show you guys here, using some of the techniques that I show you guys here, I definitely am interested in seeing your guys' own versions of, you know, a grenade or energy cell or futuristic water bottle, you know, whatever the case may be. I'm definitely interested in seeing that. And right here I'm just using blue box to kind of tighten up some of those edges there, kind of get rid of some of those artifacts. It's a bit annoying looking, and I see it ended up causing an issue here, but not a horrible issue. It's an easy to fix issue. So I'll go ahead and do it last there. Now I'm just going to move it over on the X. We'll just move it over too, just so I can kind of see what we got going on here. I don't feel like hiding it. So we'll go ahead and apply the mirror. And now I'm just going to delete all of these interior faces here. Or not interior faces, but all of the faces from what we cut out. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of that. So we can get rid of these faces. We can get rid of the top and bottom as well. We're not going to need those. And so we're left with a pretty decent shape. We'll go ahead and move it back on the x-axis -2. And we'll add a thickness, or a solidify rather. Do something about like that. Go ahead and apply that. And so now we have like a decent looking little shell to our grenade, rather. Or shell to our grenade. So we got that going. I'm going to go ahead and see if we can bevel this, if it'll look good. I don't like how that looks. We'll just leave it straight there. Next up, what I'm going to do, we'll go add in a plane, and we will take these two faces and press M to merge at center. And I'm going to go into face selection mode by pressing 3 and just select that face, and we'll go up to face, poke faces. I'm going to grab that center dot and just pull it up like so. Kind of like that. Make it nice and sharp looking. Go ahead and sharpen it and throw a little bevel on there. Something like that'll work. Now I'm going to duplicate this and rotate it 180 degrees. I'm going to zoom in real far here just so I can get these lines to add up, or match up rather. If my mouse could stop getting jerked around here. We'll do something like that. Looks good to me. Next up, I'm just going to join these two together and do origin to geometry. And so we have a basic start to something here. This is going to be kind of like a little accent, little sci-fi looking paneling This might be a smoke grenade, it might not be, it might be even a fragmentation grenade with this. We'll see. I might just change it to a fragmentation grenade. So when I said smoke grenade, just completely, you know, ignore that. I never said that. You can't prove that I said it. So moving swiftly along here. If I were to go up here and add an array, go ahead and get rid of that. Oop, I didn't mean to get rid of both of them. I meant to just get rid of the array here. We'll apply the scale, add the array back. That didn't do anything, which is not a problem at all. I'm just going to drag this through here and try to get it set up as close as I can with my other one here. So we're going to do 671. Do 6711. We'll do 6705. There we go. Looks like 6708 works for me as far as our array goes. And so now if we were to turn this up, we have a nice array of little triangle looking thingies here. So next up I'm going to add in a curve. We'll do circle. Get this to about right there. Next up I'm going to add a modifier for curve. Before we do that, we're going to go ahead and just move this up, scale it up to get it to easier working with sizes here. I've had some issues with this before. Let me go ahead and apply the scale on that. Just select the Bezier circle. I'm going to press RX90 minus, and we'll do SY. We'll do actually SZ first. Do SY, just to kind of bring those triangles back into something easier to work with. So we're left with something like this now. We'll go ahead and crank up our array until it gets right about where we need it to be. And I'll go ahead and just scale this until we get it to touch, just like we have the other ones. So we'll do something like this here. That works for me. So now we have this nice looking triangular ring. Alright, now we're just going to apply the array, and that kind of shifted everything, but have no fear, you just press S again, get it back to where you need it to be. Do something about like that. That works just fine for me. We'll go ahead and apply the curve. We'll leave the bevel there and we'll get rid of the curve. Now what I'm going to do is just duplicate this, bring it up on the Z2. Now I'm just going to rotate this on the Z until we get some triangles to kind of line up there, and that's kind of what we got so far. I like the way that looks. I'm just going to join these two together. Shift S, and we'll just do origin to geometry, and we'll go ahead and scale that in and bring it down. Right here. I realize that this is a little bit too thick, so we'll go ahead and scale this down on everything but the Z, just to give us some more wiggle room to work with and room to do stuff. So I'm just going through looking at what we got here, and it's looking like when we rotated it, it kind of changed everything a little bit. It kind of gave us a little gap in the middle there, but that's not a big deal. We can always fix that with some quick and dirty detailing here. Go ahead and scale that in just so it's on the inside of our shell here, and I'll go ahead and just push that down to about like that. Now we can just add a array modifier. I'll apply the scale of that, and we'll redo our bevel here since that was a little bit too crazy. And we'll just do Z1. Sorry, Y1, because I didn't apply the rotation, and we need to make that -1. So there we go, that. Add another. And we got kind of this goofy looking shape going on here, nothing too crazy and absurd. It is a little bit off center, but that's not a big deal. We can go ahead and just get this scooched back over and down because we want our diamonds to be seen on pretty much all sides. So it looks pretty good to me. Next up, what we can do is we can add in a curve again. Just scale it in. We'll do adjust curve, kind of give it some thickness here. Do something about like that. That works for me. Quite happy with that. I'll go ahead and bring that all the way down to here. And we'll just scale it out a little bit to where it's not intersecting and it looks a little bit ugly. We don't want any of that, do we? Add an array modifier. Go up on the Z here. So now we got some cool looking rings to go around it. Kind of breaks up the pattern, the tiling of the triangles there, but that looks pretty good to me. I'm kind of happy with that turnout there. So next up, with the grenade, we need the spoon. The spoon is that little switch that you hold down. It prevents the hammer mechanism from striking the fuse and blowing your hand off. So spoons are always nice. They're good for eating food. They're good from preventing you from going kaboom when you don't want to. So I usually start off with a plain. Kind of get it to, about where I want it to be. Which is, we'll do something like that. Scale it in on the X. Now with the spoon, you kind of want it to follow the profile of the grenade as much as you can. It doesn't have to be exact. It just makes life a lot easier for the user when they're holding said grenade. So we'll just bring it down to here. And then I like to kind of just have like a little lip there for your fingers to grip. It's like a little latch, I suppose. Or not a latch, but a finger catch. Man, I'm telling you guys, I'm bad with my words sometimes. I get too caught up in thinking about what I'm doing inside of Blender, and I'm just like, geez, get all mixed up and messed up with my words and sound like a rambling idiot sometimes. But like I've said before, it be like that sometimes. You can't really change that. Just gotta roll with the punches. I'm just doing something here, getting ready for the pin hole. That's what that hole there is the pin hole. I know, my precise things, who you calling pinhead. So we got that. We're gonna cut the spoon out a little bit because I am not a fan of how it just goes through here, so we're gonna cut that out with a little bit of box cutter action. Make sure we're in the right settings here. And I'll go end gun. Look at that, I couldn't have gotten that more perfect than I wanted to. So we'll just give it some playroom, because with moving parts, you definitely want playroom. got that here. I'm gonna go ahead and just take this face and just pull it out a little bit. I don't like how incredibly close it is to that. Do something like that. We'll mirror it over so that way it looks decent. And then what we can do actually is we'll just go ahead and get rid of that face there. We don't need it anymore. So we kind of got like a shape like this going now. Looking pretty good. Next up, I'm going to add a solidify modifier. About like so works. Doesn't have to be too thick, doesn't have to be too thin, just has to be just right. I'm gonna go ahead and C-sharp that just to get it the way I want it. We'll go back to object here, and I'll turn on our little snapping grid so it gives me a good jump off point there. Go ahead and send that through. And we're gonna bevel these edges here. Alright, so a little bit of an issue. It's not really an issue, it's just a thing I don't like, so I'm going to get rid of it. We're going to make a knife to here, and we can leave that one there. That one's not giving us any issues. Go ahead and dissolve that edge, and those are fine too. So now that we got that one out of the way, we won't have all that extra crap going on there. Go ahead and get in some lines. We're looking pretty good. And again, I'm going to say we're looking pretty good probably 40 million times, so if you got an issue with it, now's your time to voice it. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep sending it like I always do. But sometimes it's needed. You got to tell yourself, hey, that's looking pretty good. Because if nobody's telling you your art is looking good, let me rephrase that. If nobody is saying that your art looks good, you always got yourself to rely on. Because in the end, that's all that matters, if it looks good to you. Now, if you're trying to be part of a game company, then, you know, I'd suggest making sure everybody on your team or the person in charge of you or even your client is happy with the results. But you can always convey to them and say, hey, you know, I think this looks good, or hey, I think this looks like a bag of crap. Can we please change that? So, ball's always in other people's courts. It's really, you just got to get out there and let people know that, hey, I either like or do not like this. So we got our little spoon going. It's looking kind of bleak and boring. So we're going to try to spice that up a little bit. What I'm going to do, we'll just add a loop cut here. We'll grab all of these faces and just kind of yank it out on the Y, make it a bit thicker. We'll bring that up. Like so. And we can get in with some box cutter and just have some fun. Make some lightweight cut marks, you know, try to keep stuff light, because if there's a soldier or law enforcement or whoever uses this grenade is going to be using it, you know, ounces make pounds, grams make kilograms, so gotta make stuff lightweight. I'm gonna hold Alt and scroll wheel to where I can get my wedge box in. Just add some friendly neighborhood wedges in. Have some fun with that. That might not be too comfortable for the hands, so we can go in and actually fix that. We'll take these two here and we'll just scale it up like so. And I'll grab these edges here and we'll just bevel those. So that looks a little bit more approachable and comfortable to the hands. So we're going to do a couple more wedges, some like grip wedges. Kind of do something like that. And in fact, I kind of want to array this, so we'll do array v2. Press X to kind of bring it down to where we want it. We'll do that. We'll go into edit mode and just scale it down because I don't like how it's taking up all that valuable real estate space. Do something like that. We'll go ahead and hide that and sharpen it. I know we could have easily done what we're doing now by editing the actual cutter itself, but like I've said previous times, it'd be like that sometimes. So I'm just going to scale these up on the Z. Scale these up on the Z. And then we'll grab both of those, all four of those lines, and just bevel them, leaving us some decent looking grip, I guess, if that's what you would call it. So we'll go back over to our normal box here. And I've realized I don't like how thin this looks in comparison with the rest of it, so we're going to do some ugly grab and go type situations with that. So I'm just going to grab all this, push it up on the Z. We're going to grab from here down to here again. We'll push it out on the Y. It's kind of jacking everything up, I've noticed, because my selection didn't do what I wanted it to do, so we'll go back through and try that one more time. Bring that over on the Y. And that just made it thicker looking. I wasn't jiving with how thin that was looking there, so moving along. And the cool thing is, we can go in and have all the fun in the world with all of this stuff here, adding all the details and everything. I like to save some details for Substance Painter. I like to save some details for Box Cutter. It all depends on what I'm doing. So we got our spoon. That's what the spoon does. So when you chuck the grenade, spoon goes flying off because it's pivoted right here. Once the pin comes out, you hold the spoon, chuck the grenade, spoon goes flying off. The hammer is able to fall forward, strike the fuse. The fuse is a slow burn, and it ignites the detonation, which makes stuff go kablammy. So, if you didn't know how a grenade works, that's how it works. Spoon protects the hammer, keeps the hammer back. Spoon flies off, hammer flies forward, lights the fuse, kaboomy. So I just wanted to see how many times I could say hammer and kaboomy. So we're going to go through and just add some more kind of details and just have fun with it, really. And let's see, we'll take this, we'll go to here, we'll do selection to Boolean, and I'll kind of make it a little bit smaller. Push it inwards. I'm not entirely sure what happened with that. So it gave me this piece. I'll just go ahead and difference that since it wanted to be weird. Oh, we got that. It's looking pretty detailed so far. We could probably do with a little bit more details down here. So I'm going to add in a cube. I'm going to make a custom cutter here. Activate hard ops. We're just going to do the 360 array. Definitely want to make this a whole lot smaller here. Go up with it. And we're just going to play with it until it gets right inside, like so. And we'll take this face and just scale it in on the Y. Other face. And scale that in on the Y. Kind of give it some grooves almost, if that's what you want to call it. Little serrations. We'll actually go to probably about right there. I like that a little bit better. We'll go ahead and increase the count to something like 12, I guess. And we'll just do a difference there. So that works. Now all we got to do is just go in and find out why our geometry is not happy with us. And it's just minor little things like this, nothing too crazy going on. Some geometry needed to be told how to act. I know I could turn down the bevel, but I actually like the thick bevel on this, so I'm aiming to keep that. And so with keeping that, we make small little sacrifices. So that looks good there. We kind of need to do something up top here now. And what I think I do, I might just leave this blank for Substance Painter so we can add some like serial numbers, some model numbers, crap like that. Just make it look a little bit cooler, a little bit more interesting. And I'm going to see if I can get rid of that little artifact there, which it looks like it did. So we've got our grenade, our spoon. What do we need now? Oh, glad you asked. We need a pin to pull out when it's time to make stuff go boom. So I'm going to add in a cylinder. Kind of like that. Maybe didn't need to make it that long, but here. We got our pin, but I did notice a little bit of issue there, so I'll just go ahead and leave that. Fix the nastiness that we had going on. Next up, I'm just going to shape this pin to make it look a bit nicer here. I'm going to grab this end here. I'm going to scale it in, pull it out, extrude it again, pull it out just a little bit, extrude it some more. We'll just do something like this as far as our little pin here goes. And for this end, I'm going to go ahead and pull it just a little bit more. Give it just a decent little bevel here, nothing crazy. From the top, we're going to go back to hard ops, select our circle and a jump off point, and we'll go ahead and just send it all the way through. Kind of had a feeling the orientation would be a little bit messed up because I was kind of jumping off from an orthographic view, but nothing we can't fix ourselves. So before I do that and apply it, I'm going to add a loop cut in just so we can have our geometry a little bit more tight, neat, uniform looking. Go ahead and sharpen that. Now I'm going to add in a circle. Pull it up here. And I'm going to select all, duplicate it, bring it up. So now that we got two of them, we'll go ahead and just dissolve those, or delete those rather, so it's nice and open now. And I'm just going to fill that face, so we kind of got like a spiraling ring look going. And in fact, I'll go ahead and subdivide that and just bring it out more on the y-axis. I did not mean to fill that. Fat fingers for the win. So we got a little ring going here. Go to our operations, or mesh tools rather, and go to curve extract. We got us a ring. So I'll go ahead and convert that to mesh. I'm happy with where it's at. I'll sharpen it. And we can get rid of that. Fill in our end caps here. So now we have a ring. Doesn't need to be that small. You could go through the hole there. And we'll take this whole thing . I'm going to go ahead and Shift S and do cursor to selected. We'll select both of those. Instead of selecting both of those, I'm just going to go ahead and rotate that over. Something like that. And this honestly is the worst part about making a grenade, is getting holes and everything to line up, but once you do, you get a pretty decent result. So I've got that lined up on that hole in there, so from this way we can rotate it like this. And I'm starting to realize now that it would probably just be better if we were to rotate this and get it where we need it first, and then kind of get the ring to follow suit. Or get the pin to follow suit, but you know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, you'll figure it out. You could always, when it comes to doing rings, you could always do the good old classic physics and just let the ring fall naturally. So there is always that option. Computer decided it needed to freeze up just then. I don't know what was going on there. Alright, so we got our ring in place and it's looking pretty good to me. Quite happy with the results on this. I think we can actually go in and just take a look and see if there's anything else we can do or need to do. But like I've said before multiple times, it looks pretty good to me. I'm happy with the results. So the next step would be substance painting. So when it comes to substance painting, I'm just going to go ahead and upload another video. It's going to be put out right after this, so just stay tuned. I'll have it linked in the description for this video, but until we do that, I'll go ahead and just select everything. We could do Q, go over to Mesh Tools and add blank material, and I'm just going to hold Control to where it gives it a unique material per object. So we have that, and we go ahead and see what it looks like here. So it's kind of giving us an idea of, you know, what we're looking at. If we hold Shift while going through our look dev, I'm going to go ahead and just do EVHQ just so we can kind of get an idea of what we're looking like. And I'm pretty happy with the results of this so far. So what I'm going to do, I'll get some renders done of this just with the basic materials and pop them up on the screen now. And after that, I will go straight into substance painting. And that'll be the part 2 video for this. So I realized while going through and adding some materials to this, just basic Blender materials to kind of get some renders and everything, I realized that I placed my pin where the hinge goes and not where the actual pin for the grenade would go. So I'm gonna fix that real quick. I didn't catch it till just now, and I feel kind of disappointed in myself. But we'll go ahead and fix that and pretend like none of this ever happened. So like I said, I won't tell anybody if you guys don't tell anybody. So I'm just going to go through and add a blue box here, because I put the pin where the hinge for the spoon is supposed to go. Meanwhile, the pin itself is supposed to go through here, you know, to keep the spoon down, keep you from blowing yourself up and all that good stuff, because otherwise this would just not work. So we got to fix that. So I'm just going to grab this face and push it over here. And we'll just do that. Push that through. And I'll get out of rendered mode here so we can actually kind of see what we're doing. That'll work. We'll go ahead and move the pin and all this right on over to this side here. And yeah, I do kind of apologize about all of that. You know, I go around acting like I know what I'm doing when it comes to weapons and grenades and everything, but even I make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. And we can actually go ahead and recall our last cutter here and just kind of scale it in because it is a little on the large size. That'll work a little bit better. I'll go ahead and sharpen this, and we can get rid of some of this horrible geometry here. That'll work for me. There we go. Now things are starting to look a little bit better. It's starting to make some sense. I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, or emotional outbursts, definitely leave them down there in the comments. If you like the video, definitely hit the like button. If you want to see more, then subscribe for future content. You know, share it with your friends, your family, your grandma, you know, whoever. It really does help me, and like I said before, I do appreciate it. Did want to touch one more time. We do have a Discord. I'll have it down in the link. I'll have the link down in the description, so if you want to join my Discord and chat with other members of the Blender community, as well as the little community I've got going, definitely join on in and have some fun with us. But yeah, part 2 is coming really soon. Stay tuned, and thanks for watching.